Well, the roof has just been lifted off.
Right, so today, welcome back to UK Casuals Football Show. You last seen us at the Euros. Today we are a man down. Martin King is injured or eating his tea, which one you ever want to choose. So it's me and Gary Harris just running the show. How are you today, Gary?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Not bad. Yourself?
Yeah, no, I'm very good. I'm very good. I'm glad the football season has started. Even that little bit between the Euros and when the football season started, it seemed a long time. So anyway, before we get into the football, Gary, what have you been up to, mate?
What I've been up to? Working. Work. But I'm having a week off this week, I think. No, busy with work. Not a lot until the football season started, in all fairness. And I trundled along to Mansfield Bristol Rovers on the first day of the season.
Yeah.
With a few Bristol Rovers lads I know, and that was that was just unbelievable. Been to see Skinner Brothers.
I was going to ask you about that. How was that, mate?
Brilliant. Yeah, really are a great band. I see your interview with him the other day.
Yeah.
I get on really well with Zach and we talk a bit. And you know what? He's such a humble guy.
Very
honest and you know, really humble. And I'm not sure he realises how good he is. I don't know. They're actually playing tonight. They're supporting the Streets.
The Sport in the Streets, Mike Skinner. I think they're on at 6 p.m.
Yeah, that's
so
it.
They really are. I think that the reason that I wanted to get to interview Zach now, and I've been chasing him for a while, as you know, is that I think that I wanted to interview him before he got too famous, because I really think they're off.
Now, do you know what? I mean, when I was with Away Day Radio, I interviewed Zach, and we had a great interview, and there was one real absolute blinding moment with one of his responses, and we had a great interview, and I just genuinely believe this guy will not. It don't matter whether he how big he gets. I just feel Zach will not ever forget the people that have been around him and supported him.
Yeah,
he's very big on family. I mean, he calls everyone who turns up the family.
Yeah, I think when I interviewed him, I found that whatever interview Zach does, and this is how humble he is, he doesn't go through the motions. He has a genuine conversation with you.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that he was booked to do several interviews the day that I interviewed him. So I could understand if he just went through the motions, but he clearly didn't on my interview. So that shows how humble he is.
A quite open, honest assessment of where he is, what his feelings are. He doesn't hide them. He was quite adamant that he didn't like students, and he chose the football fraternity above them. I'm not saying there ain't football lads that ain't students, by the way.
Of course.
But no, you know, look, I really love their music. You know, a lot of young lads there, a lot of football lads there. The football lads love him.
Completely.
From every club, I was talking to so many different young lads and plenty of old school clobber on show as well.
Really?
And I don't mean Stone Island.
Not a feeler, Sergio Tacchini.
Oh, yeah. See, now there you go. I in the interview, Tacchini. Now I got to be honest with you, and I don't know what people will think when they watch this. I've always called it Tacchini. Always.
Is it Adidas or Adidas?
Yeah, is it Tacchini or Tacchini? For me, it's always going to be Tacchini. I can't. That's what I know it as. And,
okay, fair enough.
Like Adidas or Adidas, what is it? You know.
Yeah,
you have
very true, Goat. Very true, mate.
Even if you look at less, it's a less or is it a lessee? You know what I mean? It's like
another one.
It's all foreign, mate. It's all European.
It is all. It's. We're at the EU. We're at the EU. Anyway, we'll get down to the football season. Obviously, we're the second week in now. I'd like to go...
Mate, please let me correct you. We're the third week in, because it ain't true, about Premier League, and you know my feelings on modern day football, and I'm going to be straight.
I hold my hands up. We are the third week in.
Third week in to although some of the non-league has kicked off this time. So yesterday was the first day of the National League.
Yeah.
The previous week was the first day of National North and South. So there have been some differences. But, your Championship, League 1 and 2 all kicked off a week earlier from that Premiership. But I've got to say it to you straight now. I don't like the Premier League. I just don't like it. It stands for everything I hate in modern football, and I'm struggling with it. My team's gone in there. I will watch their results.
Of course.
I really, really, really detest the Premier League nowadays. And I don't know, maybe being locked up for so long has made me reevaluate where I stand. But, one of the things I was hoping we'd discuss is, I was going to bring up was the just to highlight the craziness of where modern day football is, that a man will be earning with all his whatever's coming in £1 million a week. I'm on about Mr. Messi. He might be the best player in the world, but he kicks the ball. He's good at it. And he's probably best in the world at kicking around ball.
But he's not saving lives, is he?
But in a world, and I just can't, I'm struggling to live with that. I really am. £1 million a week.
He's not
this
saving
is where it's
lives.
getting to.
Yeah.
In a world we live in with poverty and everything else, and I'm not being a Samaritan here or nothing like that, but
no.
I don't know. I'd love to have got Martin's thoughts on it, but no man in my eyes is worth £1 million a week to kick a ball, no matter how good he is.
I have to agree with you, Gary. I just think that he's not saving lives, is he? Like you said, he's kicking a ball.
Yeah, I'm not picking on him. It's just that when you hear, and the media, they make me laugh. They really make me laugh because you get them going, oh yeah, he was so sad when he was leaving Barcelona, but he looks very happy now he's arrived in Paris. I'm thinking, yeah, he's just signed up to £35 million a year deal and a £25 million signing on fee. I'm sorry, mate, but I'd be chopping one out in the middle of the park. You know what I mean?
Money.
It's like, come on.
Crazy money.
Like,
It's that.
get a fucking grip, will you, media? Jesus.
I think as we've said before, Gal, it's football's a business. That's it.
I'm a dinosaur, mate, and I know I'm not alone. I'm a dinosaur. Football was a working class man's sport. And it still is in areas, don't get me wrong, but not higher up now. A good example today is Manchester City.
Yeah.
Right? Biggest spending club in the country. Okay, they need a striker, we get that. And the Harry Kane thing rumbles on. I believe he was booed by Spurs fans today.
Really? Okay. Yeah.
But Man City at home for the first time in 15 months with a full ground opening, and there's plenty of empty seats.
Yeah.
So that highlights it. Ain't about us anymore.
No.
Yes, we proved that football is not the same without fans, but unfortunately, at the top end of football scales now, they don't need fans, and I think that's probably why maybe some clubs give their fans a raw deal in a lot of ways. But
would you say, Gal, that obviously there's a saying out there, and I think it was said a long time ago by a certain Liverpool fan, football without fans is nothing, or it's more than life and death. But when they say football without fans is nothing, I have to kind of adjust that and say football without a certain fan is nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there was two things proved with the lockdown. I think obviously your lower leagues were decimated.
Real bad.
Because for them, they haven't got football without fans. They need that revenue. And I really spotted something at Mansfield that I'll bring up in a moment, which was really interesting. And but anyway, I think two things. Yes, we always said football's nothing without fans. I don't think that can be said. That's true anymore in the top elite football, because it did survive quite comfortably You know, all your TV revenue was probably higher than
Yeah,
it
your Sky
was with
TV
fans,
and all the rest of
everyone
it.
was paying out to watch it on TV. I think we have to change that terminology now to football isn't the same without fans. Not nothing.
Yeah.
Because
No,
it was
exactly,
proven
Gary. I
last year.
think, you've hit the nail on the head, mate.
It's not the same without fans, but it ain't nothing because it was proven last year that football can carry on without a fan in the ground. In the top elite leagues, shall we say. Below that, then, the saying's still very true. Without the fans, these clubs can't survive. But in the elite end of football, we have to change that.
There's much more going on without just
I mean, look, the revenue coming into these elite clubs is not from fans these days.
No, it's not, and that's why
a bit of
fans are almost treated with contempt. And it's a sad situation.
I wouldn't say all clubs, but certainly, I just don't think you're on the priority list like
No.
It was a priority to get fans in the ground many years ago, and
bums on seats. Bums on seats was a priority.
Must emphasise we're talking about elite end football now.
Of course. So when you went to, it was Bristol versus Mansfield. Now you're
Mansfield,
You're obviously a Watford fan, so you went there just as a neutral. I know you went with pals that are Bristol.
I've got a soft spot for Bristol Rovers because I've been there a few times, and I know all their lads, and they're really good lads, and they're very welcoming, and I've enjoyed my trips to go and see Bristol Rovers.
And I see the video you put up when Bristol scored, and it did seem to me, they are outside the Premier League because they're not in the Premier League. But it did seem to me very old school, very passionate. They all went rushing forward when they scored. Wasn't clap, well done.
No. I got to say, Mansfield and Bristol Rovers that day were brilliant with the atmosphere. It's phenomenal. A lovely little ground. It's three sides. One side's a bit derelict, but it's a nice little ground. They had 6,500 in there. 1,400 from Bristol, by the way. Phenomenal away support in that league. I think they had 1,200 down at
very
Exeter.
much, very much so. Yeah,
they do. They are quite a big club in that division, but no, the atmosphere was amazing. The passion of the fans, considering, and I can't talk for the Mansfield fans because I don't know them that well, but their atmosphere was brilliant. But I know with Bristol Rovers, they've been through torrid times, non-league. Well, Mansfield have as well, to be fair to them. They dropped down into non-league for a little while, bless them. And they've been down in the non-leagues. Bristol Rovers don't seem to get any joy whatsoever. And yet the passion, it was just amazing. That video, by the way, was there's more about that video than meets the eye because firstly, it was sheer fluke that I'm thinking that I really could. I've done about 5 before that one, by the way, and the atmosphere was great. But I thought, no, I just want something really, and I just started videoing, and for the first time, I videoed a bit of the game. And as I started videoing, that wonder goal went in. What a goal that was! And the goal went in, and it just opened up such a. And for me, it was so brilliant because. That's what football's about. That moment, the ball hits the net, and we have missed it, all of us. And I just thought it was the perfect video to
very
sum
much
up
so, Gary.
That first day back for the majority of clubs, the first day back with fans, and I just thought the video summed it up. Some people had a bit of a dig about it, but the truth of the matter was, all I was doing was trying to sum up, not about Bristol Rovers, not about Mansfield. It was about football's back and it's proper.
And I think you were successful in what you were trying to do.
The thing is, what you read into that. Obviously, the bit of the story behind that is and you know about proper football that me and Simon started.
Yeah,
and it comes from that video. We've been waiting for an opportunity. Obviously, me and Simon were heavily involved with Away Day Radio, as you know.
Yeah.
And obviously away day radio, it all went a bit wrong in a higher area, and obviously away day radio's gone and done its own thing, gone in a direction that was very different to the direction that maybe we were intending to go. Me and Simon would like to. So, but you know, that's the way it is. It's gone and done, and it's doing what it does with the bands, which is great. However, me and Simon I think we sort of like we're at a bit of a loss with it all, and waiting for an opportunity to do something. And we did this video, and I'm not kidding. Within 2 days, it'd been viewed by 10,000 people, and I think it just comes to us. There's loads and loads of groups out there, football groups. Don't get me wrong. Some are absolutely brilliant. The non-league one that's out there is fantastic. I really like it. There's a few out there that are really good. Some of them are proper pony, you know.
There's lots of football
really
groups out there that are pony.
We could talk. Look, let's be a bit different. You know, yes, you'll see Premier League stuff there as well.
Yeah.
But we really are keen to get, you know, the Premier League. And yeah, okay, I am a bit anti-Premier League. I ain't going to deny it, and I'll be honest. But we won't shun the Premier League. But the Premier League is so covered everywhere.
It doesn't need other stuff.
The focus will be on getting stuff in from non-league fans, and again we're looking at music that's related. One thing I found when I was working with Away Day Radio and doing we were doing the Rise to Recognition show, that I found all the bands I was talking to, maybe with a couple of exceptions, all were football lads and proper really into their football. Yeah. You know, Marcus Drive are made up of a number of great band, by the way, Marcus Drive. And they made up of a number of West Midlands, West Brom, Villa, Wolves, Coventry. And you got Section 60, you know, from Sheffield. The name says it all anyway, because we all know what Section 60 is, football banning. You know, you got Shed Project Bolton lads, you had Skylights that are Leeds lads, and so on, you know. So proper football, you know, and again, you know, it'll promote like this show and
stuff like that. Gal, I just want to say, proper football, let's just nail it and give it a little plug. It's on Facebook.
It's Facebook, Instagram.
Is it a Facebook group or a page?
I think we have got a group. To be honest with you, Simon Sutton group. We haven't really put. It's very young. I mean, it's only a couple of weeks old. Yeah. But already the reach is phenomenal. And it's a page. We're on Instagram. We've set up a YouTube channel as well.
That's good.
You know, but. Yeah, the point of proper football is it won't just be about. It's anything that's worthy of being on there, including the music from football supporters. That was, you know, we were keen to promote when we were on away day, and they promote now heavily on that as well. But there's nothing wrong with us doing it as well, but in a different way. I think, as well as that as well. I think we wanted to be a bit more inclusive for the football family. So well, you know, we're football lads, you know, and whatever else. But I think, you know, there are many football fans out there that maybe felt the football lad type scenario wasn't their cup of tea, without realising what the content was. So I think this is an opportunity for us to be a little bit more inclusive of all fans.
Well, I think that's great, mate. And obviously, UK Casuals will obviously get behind you. I've got a certain platform now where I can help people move along that have just started, and always happy to.
I think as well, like you know, with Away Day, I think we originally started off very laddish. You know what I mean? It was very much about the casual culture, and like I say, I think one of the realisations, even when we were still there, me and Simon, was we would need to dilute that down a little bit, because we need to be a bit more inclusive. So
mainstream, got to go a bit more mainstream. Yeah.
I think where you got proper football, which is what we've called it, you know, because that's what we really want to proper football. That's what it's about, proper football, not this modern day stuff really. But also like groups like yourselves where you are very much on the casual scene. I think it's a great opportunity for you to introduce that to, should we say, people that maybe wouldn't have looked at a casual page.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, and they might think, oh, actually, this isn't about football hooligans. This is about trainers. This is about fashion. This is about all sorts, not just, because like in football, if you're a lad, you're tarred with a brush all the time, aren't you?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
And that goes the same, and people ain't looking at that as a lad thing. And proper football isn't like that. And hopefully the football family will see that. And a lot of these youngsters that maybe don't know what proper football is, will get to see what proper football is in a lot of ways. And there's some
I think what you're trying to do is very weird. Is very is the same as my message, Gal, was that even on the casual side, like you said, we get tarred with thugs, with violence, but it's not all about that.
No.
And let's get that message out there. Right, moving on. Results yesterday in the Premier League that you love. Was there any results that stood out to you yesterday?
No.
No.
Was there any results that stood out to me yesterday?
For me, I'll tell you mine now, Gal. I'm glad Aston Villa won yesterday, 2-0 against Newcastle, because they've lost their star man. Yeah. Then their first game they lost, so they've won now, which I'm really happy for. And you said today that Harry Kane got booed.
Booed. That's what I've heard. Some of the Tottenham fans I've seen on social media, some of the Tottenham fans, by all accounts, booed Harry Kane. As obviously social media's gone into meltdown a bit over it from a Spurs point of view.
What do you think about this situation with Harry Kane, Gary? Should Spurs just let him go?
Well, the truth of the matter is Harry Kane. Look, I've been there. It's not good working with family, and he's given his brother a job he's clearly not very clued up on, and Harry Kane's put himself in a corner.
Yeah. I mean, it boils down to, even I used to play football for pub teams and then a little bit higher, but if you've got a player that doesn't want to play for the team, let him go.
Did you progress onto a social club?
Yeah, I got there just...
Mate, I'm just having a bit of a joke there, mate.
I know, just got there just. But I was never a Premier League player. But yeah, I mean, if a player doesn't want to play for you, then sell him, let him go.
Right, and we come back to the Premier League is not about anything other than business and money, and you've got to look at it from Daniel Levy's point of view, and this is where we say, look, Harry Kane fucked it up when he didn't have an agent that maybe knew, a bit naive, his brother.
Yeah,
working with family never works, and I know, I've been there, and clearly there were mistakes made when he signed up that 6-year deal, which pretty much wrapped up his playing career in top flight, taking him to the age of 31, 32, whatever it is. Don't give you a lot left at the end of that career. And he signed that deal up without any inclusive get-out clauses. And if you look at every other player, there's get-out clauses. If someone comes in with a certain amount of money, bang, it triggers the get-out clause.
They all got clued up agents, like you said.
Yeah. So this is why you're in a mess now, because Daniel Levy's sitting there going, mate, I want 150 grand here. Wouldn't you? I'm sorry, he's sitting there going on my knife already. I want 150. Come on, boys, give me your money.
I saw that Man City won 5-0 at Norwich. I mean, that's a hammering 5-0.
Do you know what? I feel sorry for Norwich, and I really do, because they actually, when they were in the Premier League before, they actually played some really good football, but never got anywhere. Do you know what? I think Norwich is a club at the moment that is too good for the Championship, and not good enough for the Premier League.
Okay, right. That's. I'm going to stop you there. That's an interesting thing you've brought up, Gal. They're too good for the Championship, but they're not good enough for the Premier League.
That's
so
how
that shows there's a massive gap in between, doesn't there?
I think you've got to buy when you come up. If you don't buy in some quality, look, I see Watford. Yes, I see Watford's performance yesterday. Very unimpressive. I didn't see the Villa game, but I understand they played really well. But Watford brought in half a new squad, and to be fair, it looks like some very interesting acquisitions. And I don't think Norwich do that, do they? They sort of stick with the side they've got.
They start with the same, and it's not going to get them there.
Well, you can win the Championship, and then you step up. You need to bring in some Premier League players. There are players that are quick for playing in Championship, not for the Premier League. And likewise, there are players in the Premier League shouldn't be in the Premier League and should be playing in Championship.
Exactly, Gal. I mean, you're a Watford
that's what
man.
They're good at. Sorry?
Obviously, you're a Watford man.
Yeah.
What do you see for Watford this season, Gal? What's your predictions? You're going to struggle?
Know. It's really difficult. It's really... You know what? Look, you've got eight to 10 teams there that could go down. I think every time we've been in Premier League, you're not looking... I know you should be positive, but the truth of the matter is, unless you are in that top elite sort of position, you have a freak season where you might get in 7th place or something. You're hoping for a freak season, but other than that, what you're doing, you're always looking to what teams are worse than you,
survive,
engaging for survival. And I look at Norwich and think, I really think they're going to be rock bottom. I really can't, and I feel for them. Like I say, the fans are in no man's land. I mean, do you want to? I don't know. Maybe some fans love it.
I would say so. You've talked about you think who's going to be rock bottom. So who's your winners, Gal? Who's going to win the Premier League? I'll say Man City.
I don't fit. Yeah, I knew this question would be thrown at me, and like I say, I've not really paid. I don't pay a lot of interest in the Premier League now, but obviously I knew for this show. Obviously, I have thought about a few things.
Yeah,
so I didn't let you down. You know what? There's 4 teams, and we're almost getting like the Scottish Premier League, where if you ask me who's going to win Scotland, I'm going to say it's either Rangers or Celtic. You ask me about England, you're going to, we're a bigger league. We got 20 teams, they got 12. It's going to be either Man City, Liverpool, Man United, or Chelsea. That's how sad it's got. And I know I'm going to get slated by certain people. Best league in the world and all that, and I appreciate that's just my opinion. For those that think I'm a twat by being the way I am about it, it's just me. It's my opinion, and I don't take anyone else's opinion.
You're welcome to it, Gal. Of course, you've got every right, mate.
And I've earned that opinion, by the way. 44 years of home and away, abroad with England, and Watford a couple of times. I've earned my right for my opinion, and I can't imagine over 44 years how much I've spent. Let's put it this way, I bought a mansion, I think I've earned the opinion I've got, or be able to air my opinion. So, between them 4, I don't think Man United will do it, although we've yet to see how they develop. It's really early to make a really decent shout. I do. Man City, it's going to depend on whether they get a striker, whether that's Harry Kane or another striker.
Yeah.
I think clearly it was obvious even from yesterday, they need a striker. I mean, 5-0 with Norwich. I mean, I'm sorry, but for that doesn't tell you anything. Because, it doesn't tell you nothing. No disrespect to Norwich, but that really, with the side Man City have got, You know, they should be winning 5-0 at Norwich or at
Yeah.
home to Norwich.
Yeah,
whatever.
no, I understand that, Gal.
I think Chelsea could be in with a shout.
Yeah, obviously.
And I don't know about Liverpool yet because they had a really bad season last season.
Right. Yeah, I just don't know about Liverpool. Obviously, our Chelsea man is not here. He's injured.
No.
He's pulled a hamstring or something like that. And they play Arsenal today. So obviously Martin will tell us next week his views about Chelsea. Have you got any thoughts on the FA Cup, Gal? Because I know me and you, when you was on away day, I came on and you know, we really want to, you know, we really champion the FA Cup, don't we?
I love the FA Cup. I absolutely love it. And there's been a lot of FA Cup qualifiers going on this last couple of weeks, which has been really fun to look at the sort of sides that are playing. And I must say there's a side in there, I don't know if it's good or bad, called FC Romania. They're playing in the first qualifier. Well, what the hell? You know, FC Romania. But no, the FA Cup qualifiers have been in full swing.
Yeah.
And it gives everyone, every club, don't matter how big or small they are, an opportunity to play in the FA Cup. I love the FA Cup. It breaks my heart because what it meant back then to us and to everyone and to the country.
To what it means now.
Yeah, but now it's got nothing like that. That's a shame for the youngsters, and I don't want to be boring because I've said it enough times.
Yeah, of course.
It's such a shame that a lot of the youngsters have not had that opportunity to experience what we did in the FA Cup, you know, and the big day out, the final.
The FA Cup final was huge.
It was a big day out for everybody, not just the teams that were playing, you know. It would be that. I mean, the place would be a standstill. So yeah, the FA Cup, I love it, and of course, whatever I can do to champion it, I will.
Okay, so I think that's it for today, Gal.
I've just got a couple of bits, if you don't mind.
No, you crack on, mate. Obviously, it's the platform.
Okay, I'll be quick. I think the story of the weekend is Gloucester City. They lost their ground in 2007 to the floods. Do you remember the really bad flooding?
Yeah, I've seen that on social media. Yeah, real bad. And they played their first game at home, didn't they? And they're up in
14 years.
Yeah.
The ground was destroyed. The land was destroyed. It's taken 14 years to be able to get them back on there.
14 years.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, if you see the pictures, if you know anyone wants to check out proper football, will see we've done a bit on it.
Yeah.
And all you see is a crossbar. That's how deep the water was in that ground. And they had a thumping 4-0 win against York City, one of the promotional favourites out of the National League North. And I believe there was a crowd of around 3,000.
So their fans are back at their old ground and they win 4-0. Yeah. They must have gone nuts.
Oh, mate, and there's the most wonderful story to come out of that is someone was saying that he's always been a Gloucester City supporter. As a kid, he would go with his dad and his two children. He's never been able to take them to the ground he loved.
No,
obviously,
it's underwater.
There's obviously alterations with some of the stands and that, because a lot of it got destroyed. But for the first time yesterday, I think his kids were like 10 and 12 or something, you know what I mean? He was able to take them to that ground for the first time, you know, because they weren't even born when they lost the ground. So it's a really lovely story, proper football, as I like to call it. Hence why we call that group proper football. But what a wonderful story. Quick, another one from last week that I wanted to bring up for everyone as well was the Bury fans. We all know what happened to Paul Bury. You know, mismanagement on behalf of their owners, and really, you know, could the football family have done more to bail them out? Yes, of course they could, you know, with the money that floats around the game. And last week, for the first game of the season that we would have had at home, had they been a club, which they've not regenerated themselves yet, hopefully, fingers crossed, they got together in a pub and had a very, you know, so they're still going in spirit. with the
Yeah.
fans, and
Yeah.
that's a lovely, lovely story.
Of course it is, yeah.
And I just really wanted to finish off with one more on today's show for you was when I went to Mansfield, I've always sort of said about, money's so key, the food money, the beer money, the attendance money to lower league and non-league clubs. One big criticism, I don't know if other clubs do this, but Mansfield on that day had sold 1,400 tickets for the Bristol Rovers end. And I couldn't believe that they didn't capitalise. They put a woman with two young lads in the smallest little hut.
Kiosk.
They brought in a cider, especially because it was a cider country team,
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And mate, most of the fans couldn't even get a drink. And those that did probably were lucky to get one. And if that was as it was for the alcohol sales, the food sales would have suffered just the same.
Yeah.
The same kiosk. And I just was, with you and Martin, had Martin been on, really just to raise it as some of these clubs need to wobble their heads, even though we moan, and I moan quite regularly about not having enough money filtering down. At the same time, I think there are clubs out there should wobble their heads and manage themselves.
They've got to help themselves. Yeah.
And so the point I wanted to make from it was, clubs also have a responsibility to manage their clubs correctly. Bury was mismanaged. Now, I'm not saying Mansfield's mismanaged, but they missed a trick there. Yeah. Even if they, I'm sure I see other areas where they would have had food had they opened them up, or even if they'd have brought a couple of wagons in, charged them 500 quid a pop. Even if they'd have made they would have made a lot of money that day.
They have to help themselves, Gal. They have to help themselves. We know
pubs. There are pubs out there that survive purely on football.
Of get money on the food, on the drink. Of course, Gal. Yeah. I mean, that's...
So Mansfield, if anyone from Mansfield watches this, talk to your club, because truly missed the trick. Truly missed it. They would have made a lot more money, and I'm sure there were ways they could have done that. They knew what was coming. There was no excuse for why they couldn't have made a lot of money out of them fans, and they were gagging for a beer. And where they were only getting one beer, they'd have bought two or three.
Of course, and they would have.
Half the fans give up, mate. Half of them give up. I heard them all moaning. That was just an observation I had being at Mansfield, and just want to raise that.
I think what I'll finish off with is that there was something on social media which made me laugh. Millwall had Cardiff yesterday.
Yeah.
Or Millwall went to Cardiff. I'm not sure which way around it was. And obviously Cardiff is well known. Millwall, obviously well known. Then it's like a Welsh team playing an England team. But apparently Millwall were fighting between Millwall in the stands.
Not the first time. It happened at Wembley against Wigan, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, this is crazy, isn't it?
It's not.
I just don't. Obviously, there was a lot of Cardiff that wanted to get at Millwall and vice versa. And I don't know if they couldn't get each other, and then that it just boiled over. They started fighting each other.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't have been like that. I'll tell you what it would have been, mate. It would have been. It would have been something like either there were fans taking exception to if they booed the knee, which Millwall, along with other clubs, do.
Yeah.
Or certain fans do. It would have been someone standing up and someone saying "sit down." He's gone fuck off, and they've ended up, and it's developed. It wouldn't have been. I've not seen anything about this, by the way, but I've seen pictures of the Millwall section, and it wouldn't have been nothing to do with Cardiff trying to get it. That don't really happen. It doesn't happen. Not these days. Very rare. But I would say, two Millwall fans have got the hump with each other over something like I've just said.
Something that went
on. Sit down, no bollocks, bang, and that's it. And then his mates will jump in, and then the next. It's happened with me at Watford.
One more thing before we go, and obviously it's just we're just going to touch on this very quickly. We've spoke about taking the knee. Doesn't look like he's going anywhere, does it, Gal? They just push it and push it and push it. And
all I can say is, if anyone wants to know, right? Okay, I'm going to be quick because this is a real bad subject for anyone to speak about these days.
Yeah,
so
no, it is. Yeah,
and all I'm going to say, I'm happily. I disagree with the taking of the knee gesture. I absolutely agree with there being gestures of not anti-racism.
Kick it out.
Taking of
like
the knee.
Yeah,
We've said it before. The players are saying, "Oh yeah, but we're getting the message out. We're doing it." Mate, there are players. Watford have got 2 players, by the way, black, who are not taking the knee. Zaha doesn't take the knee. Yeah. I see pictures of a Brentford player. Both are black players, by the way, as well. Brentford player and an Arsenal player when they played them. The Brentford player's standing up, not taking a knee. The Arsenal player's on his knee, giving it some of that black power stuff, which is wrong.
Was that the guy that was stood on the halfway line, just outside of the circle?
Yeah, I think
and
so.
he was just the rest of his teammates were on their knee, and he was stood up.
Joby McAnuff has slated Gary Rowlett because Gary Rowlett has said we need to unite the fans, and this pretty much, in other words, what he said in his interview was, look, we need to do something to unite, and this is causing division. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not just causing division.
Doesn't matter which way you look at it.
With the players.
Yeah.
All I can say is Joby McAnuff then come out and said, well, anyone booing, it's obvious they're racist. Well, Joby McAnuff, I've had enough of you. You can boo them,
you're plain wrong.
Because that is so bloody wrong.
Every time the fans boo, they're not booing against anti-racism.
The gesture.
They're booing against the gesture now. And for someone to say that and to try and make it
that's what Joby McAnuff said.
Silly.
All I'm going to say to everyone who listens to this, let me be straight from the beginning. Whether you agree with it or you disagree with it, right? It doesn't really, come into it. What comes into it is that people who disagree with it are entitled to their opinion, right? And they are not automatically racist. If you disagree with the gesture and what's being rammed down our throats since day one of what this has been going on.
Yeah, you're spot on. It doesn't make you automatically racist.
It doesn't. And people need to just, we have if it was racist comments, then completely agree. But if people want to know why, the best explanation I've heard in all of this is Simon Jordan, him and the Sinclair fella, who, by the way, is a convicted racist for abusing a white police officer and convicted for it. They were having a proper debate about this because of what Joby McAnuff said. All the presenters are disagreeing with him. It was on Wednesday just gone. I honestly, if you think I'm a twat for what I'm saying, and you don't understand why I disagree with taking the knee, please listen, because there is no better way that I could have ever put the reasons why me and I know thousands of other fans don't accept the gesture. And please, you can go back on TalkSport to last Wednesday. Trevor Sinclair, that's the one. Trevor Sinclair was on. I think it's about an hour and 35 minutes in to the show. There's a major debate, and I'm not kidding. He nailed it. He absolutely nailed it.
The reason why people boo. Okay, Gary.
Totally nailed it. And I don't think anyone could say it any better and understand why there's upset and why have division. It causes division
so much, mate. Let's be fair. Right, I'm going to finish on that note, Gal.
Cool.
So, Martin King and yourself will be back next week. So I'm sure Martin King's hamstring would have recovered. So we'll be in the starting lineup. There'll be more videos coming from UK Casual soon.